And now, live in studio, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
Yes, here we are again, another day committed to picking a fight with the mainstream media and providing you the timely truths in around real estate, credit, finance. We're going to talk some Bitcoin today and so much more. You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show. Our goals are to educate, entertain, enlighten, and we are going to engage you. We want to engage you in an effort to help you win no matter what you're facing. You got to reach out to our hotline so that we can help you win no matter what you're facing.
The only thing I'm addicted to right now is winning.
813-670-7372.
You used to call me on my cell phone.
813-670-7372. And we want you to bookmark our website, consumerqb.com. That's a lot of information for you at consumerqb.com. So anything you hear today, we'd love to hear from feedback, comments, concerns, any questions you may have. You can also submit an email form at consumerqb.com. Just click on the link. It's going to come directly through to our team. We're going to make sure we answer your questions, maybe plug you in with the network that you're looking to reach and help you out with whatever you're facing out there. That's our number one goals. Also, we have our Name That Tune coming up. Today's songs are, we always like to have a little fun with you as well. So we've got popular hair band anthems today on the Consumer Quarterback Show. And our feel-good story of the week as well. Anonymous donor buys every toy at Goodwill and gives them to all children. So stay with us on that. And let's go around the horn now, make our introductions. Back in studio, Jason Brooks, my man, Jason Brooks in the house. Mortgage specialist, E-Mortgage Management, the Del Bro team. Welcome in.
Thank you. Welcome. Thank you for having me. Good afternoon, Tampa. And yeah, Jason Brooks, E-Mortgage Management, the Vice President of Retail Sales there. And getting ready for the holidays. And like this cold weather, it's boost weather for all you race car fans out there.
I love it. It. Can finally bring out the suits, the sports coats again. Can look good.
My leather jacket I get to wear 3 times a year.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Every now and then, you wear it.
We lit our fireplace for the first time.
I did that last night too.
Fireplace? What's that?
We've got an electric fireplace, and then of course I use it once in a blue moon. So when I spin it, when I turn it on, it starts making all this noise, and I'm like, oh man, I can't get back there and spray some WD-40. So finally, enough banging on it, it kind of grooves in there.
Yeah, we actually built what we did with our big stone fireplace. We actually put an electric fake fire inside of that just for the sake of having something to look at.
Yeah, and hey, it's all, you got to fool the mind first, right?
Exactly.
Leave the mind will follow, right? Or the body follows. So also in studio today, we've got Nehad Alhassan, Bitcoin expert. Welcome in, sir.
How you doing today? We're going to be talking about Bitcoin and in real estate as well. So
yeah,
stay tuned.
He created a media storm this week, which is kind of leading into Louise Harris, Last Research and Editing. Welcome in.
Hi, Brandon. Glad to be here. And I was going to talk about how you can use books for Christmas gifts and for marketing your business. So
I love it. Yeah, and press releases. She's talked press releases in previous shows and how to utilize the media.
And you can use them for books as well. If you're releasing a book, you can write a press release for that, as long as you make it different.
Well, we're going to be putting together our second edition of the Consumer Advocate Playbook in January, February. We're going to release that, and it's going to be filled with great content similar to the show, and it's all about helping consumers. So we're asking each one of our expert contributors, our 80-plus show partners that can be found at consumerqb.com, to compile a chapter of their best content, the ideas that they want to share. And kind of on that same tune, we're going to talk about with what Nehad did this week, but he was interviewed by a couple of news organizations. They were asking him about Bitcoin. He's selling a house and offering it as a sale with Bitcoin. So some really good content coming at you today on the Consumer Quarterback Show. And we always start off with a audible. So personal development is such an important aspect of your life, or it should be, if you want to grow to have success. If you're looking on Instagram and you're seeing people flying around in jets, traveling the world, having these awesome vacations, and just living that bigger life, you've got to develop yourself daily. And so we're going to help you Call That Audible. Today, what we're talking about is the law of correspondence and understanding and applying the law of correspondence. And most of us have heard the old adage that our outer world is nothing but an inner reflection of our inner world. And so as within, so without. And ultimately, that's what happens is when we tell ourselves these stories of, oh, I can never lose weight, or I can never remember people's names is a big one that I hear so often. We've got to stop telling ourselves that old story, that worn out, tired story, and basically you're hearing those types of things in the community as you're going through your daily life. And what you want to do is control your thoughts. Your mind is naturally going to wander, and I would venture to say today's busy lifestyle has been the fastest pace ever in human evolution, and we have more challenges in terms of power of focus, keeping our focus than any time in the history of the United States or the world, for that matter. So your mind is naturally going to wander, and that's where you want to try to get into meditation, prayer. Slow your mind down at morning, noon, and night if you can, a couple of times a day, or at least a couple of times a week, and live with expectation. Live with great expectation. That's one thing I really like to do, is focus on manifesting what is going to happen. Before the radio show 5 years ago, hey, I'm going to be a radio show host. I'm going to make it happen. We did that, and you can too. And that's what we want to make sure you understand, is accepting full responsibility for where you're at. Continue to grow every day, every week in personal development, and you will too reach your goals and reach your success and have better prosperity for your family as well here. So the Consumer Quarterback Show, starting you off with that 2-minute drill, calling that audible here. Let's go ahead and jump into this great content. So Jason Brooks is back in the house. We talk a lot about real estate mortgage on this show, and it's a time in the market where there's some stats here I'm gonna talk about. So we've got some interesting stats. This is straight from the Realtor organization. You look at, it's interesting. We still have a lack of inventory. So let's just start with Hillsborough County. Closed sales, single-family homes, closed sales in 2017, we've got 1,384. And in September of 06, the same month, we had 1,691. So 18% less closed sales. Let's jump down to townhouses, condos. Closed sales, 389 versus 443, a minus 12% change. So overall, there's some volume down, but ultimately, there's still a lack of inventory.
Yeah, and I think, again, September is kind of probably the worst month you could choose to do that because of, obviously, the hurricane.
Yeah, that's right.
And being as big as that was, that's the largest storm that we've ever seen.
Yep.
It started about a week before the storm got here and then lasted for 2 weeks after. So at the end of the day, we knew September was going to look weird. What I like seeing is the fact that, building permits are up.
Right.
At the end of the day, again, we talked about this on previous shows. It's, you have a lack of inventory inner city in the populated areas. There's no land, right? So what happens? You either buy what's there, or you knock it over and build something else.
That's right.
Or you buy a resale and you keep it. So, or you move to the outskirts where everything's growing rapidly. And we're seeing a lot of growth in eastern Hillsborough County. Pinellas, Pasco are maxed out, right? I mean, Pasco, you can still get out to the Dade City area and east of I-75, but at the end of the day, it's a good place to be. We're expecting, with growth and with expansion comes property value appreciation. Yep. And we're continuously seeing that. So at the end of the day, real estate is a good 4% a year, right? If you take any 10-year average, for the most part, you're going to get somewhere around 4% a year here.
Yeah, and that's healthy.
That's a good return on your investment. Yeah, and that's a healthy return. You don't, seeing 15 to 20% returns, that scares you. That should scare you. It scared me to see that in the 2 years we had it, but at the end of the day, that was just a leveling out. So, I'm actually really excited to talk about Bitcoin here.
Let's jump into
it.
Let's do it.
Absolutely. I saw a little bit of a write-up in regards to, I think I actually saw the article that you're speaking of as far as the, purchasing a property or selling your house and then offering, additional incentives in the form of Bitcoin.
So Nehad and I, we sat down, we had lunch a few weeks back. He actually showed one of my properties on Clearwater Beach, a beautiful listing on 1024 Mandalay Avenue, $749,000 listing on Clearwater Beach. And between now and then, he's gotten creative. He said, look, why don't you tell us a story? You did a press release and said, hey, we're going to offer this real estate. It's going to be one of the first ever offered at 4 million Bitcoin. Is that right?
That's correct. And first, I have to say, Bitcoin is highly volatile. It is very risky investment, and I don't advise it for everybody. You should always contact a financial advisor, accountant, and this is
a fiduciary if you do, preferably.
And this is for educational purposes only. to make sure everyone's clear.
Sure. Yeah.
I think we have to think differently, as Brandon as I do, to step out of the box, to bring more buyers into the market. I think a realtor today has to have additional knowledge in finance to expand the buyer market worldwide, because majority of the purchases of Bitcoin are only 1% in the United States. 60% is coming from Southeast Asia, and majority of people are buying it where there's currency fiat issues with the government, like in Venezuela.
Right.
People in Venezuela also taking that money into buying Bitcoin, buying food from Amazon, and shipping it to Colombia. But this is opening the market to a lot of people in real estate that may think a different way of accepting this money and using a third party to help these buyers and sellers come together as well.
Yeah, it's interesting. So you were able to, you did a press release somehow. It got out. The media was interviewing you the last couple of days as well.
I'll just talk about the press release.
Sure.
The reason it was picked up is because it was so new.
Right.
It's a trend that hasn't happened yet, and so the media wanted to be the first to release that story. So that's why it was picked up.
I like it. So tell us about that. How did that start out?
Yeah, they contacted me, and they did some other stories on Bitcoin, and they thought this was an exciting story, something new, something different. Yeah. And that, plus the house on top of it is a gorgeous house on 120 Gulf Boulevard. It's beautiful. I
looked at those pictures yesterday.
It's amazing, a water ocean view. So
just for the ignorant like myself here, what is Bitcoin? It's cryptocurrency, correct? I mean, can you explain what that is, or what it's not?
Well, basically, it's a decentralized currency, allowing you from one person to the other send money directly without a third party. And this is the first time in history that it's been done. Mm-hmm. Only other way it's been done is through cash, allowing you to send money from one party to the other in a cryptographic form, and safely and securely and anonymously, if you like.
So you're using currency, a dollar, whatever backed currency that is, to purchase coins. Right, and each coin is worth a certain value, and that value changes dramatically on a daily basis right now, correct?
It's been trending up lately.
I can say in January it was $1,000 a coin.
Correct.
And today it's around $17,000 a coin.
Right, and it went up like $6,000 in one day. What was it, Friday last week or Thursday last week?
Yeah, it was pretty neat when you see that. Brandon Rhymes here. If you just joined us, Consumer Quarterback Show, we've got a all-star lineup for you today. Jason Brooks, Louise Harris, Nehad Alhassan, Bitcoin expert. We're talking Bitcoin right now. So pros and cons. Let's do briefly pros and cons. What are the pros first?
The pros is the gains.
Okay.
Because 1,000%, over 1,000% in 1 year is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
The cons, it goes to basically zero at that point. So it's basically a lottery ticket in theory right now.
It could go to zero.
Yeah. Because Sunday they started trading this on the CME, Chicago Mercantile Exchange, the largest futures market in the world. So this gives it more backing as well.
And what is it? What is it exactly tied to? Like, what is guaranteeing this money?
That's what's interesting about it.
Nobody can really answer that question.
It's tied to the trust in mathematics and cryptography.
Okay.
And the interesting. Go ahead, Louise.
Yeah, as far as I understand, it's not regulated by anything. So
right. Because it's decentralized.
And that makes an advantage and a disadvantage.
I don't see a disadvantage. I see the advantage. There's nobody involved. There's no CEO. It's ran by miners worldwide through hundreds of millions of computers worldwide, authenticating each transaction altogether, building the blockchain from beginning to end as well.
We got to jump to break here, but stay with us here. Consumer Quarterback Show, giving a shout out to Two Maids and a Mop. Our official cleaning partner is Two Maids and a Mop of the Consumer Quarterback Show. They provide excellent service, and a clean house is going to make you feel better. It's going to release endorphins in your body. It's going to make you much more successful in your career when you don't worry about cleaning your own house. Let someone else clean your house. And our official cleaning company here at the Consumer Quarterback Show is Two Maids and a Mop, the official cleaning partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Also, very cool, they will treat cancer patients' homes, clean their homes for free if they're going through cancer treatment. Stay with us here, Consumer Quarterback Show. When we come back, more Bitcoin, and we're going to find out what it is, what it's not, and some more interesting content here. An anonymous donor buys every toy at a Goodwill and gives it to all children. And we also have our Name That Tune coming up. We're going to have some fun with you. Stay with us here, Consumer Quarterback Show, ConsumerQB.com.
This is Warwick Dunn, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show, hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
Enjoy tranquil seclusion in an eco-lover's paradise. Paddling through the mangroves where the only sounds you'll hear are the sounds of nature. Because you deserve to relax on vacation, visit Pasco County, Florida.
Listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
Welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, the Consumer Quarterback Show, having some fun with you today, talking about Bitcoin, talking about the local real estate market. We got market going on. Kipton's Hotel, beautiful St. Pete Beach. Check them out. Great place to go have a good staycation, local friendly fun at the first new hotel built on St. Pete Beach in decades. Got a rooftop lounge. You've got a restaurant on site, the Castile restaurant. Beautiful rooftop overlooking the Don Cesar Hotel. The beautiful beaches of beautiful, beautiful St. Petersburg and the Tampa Bay area. Somewhere sunny and 75. And here we are back in studio. Got a couple of hot listings I want to let you know about. 1024 Mandalay Avenue, Clearwater Beach, $749,000. Beautiful property, great color scheme, tropical feel, pavers all the way around, fenced-in yard, and you literally walk across the street and you're on North Clearwater Beach. $749,000, compliments of Platinum MVP Realty. Check out PlatinumMVPRealty.com. Also a beautiful property in New Tampa, Corey Lake Isles area, 10217 Timberland Point Drive, Arbor Green. and 4 bedrooms, 3-bath community pool. A great community here, gated community, and you've got over 2,750 living square foot heated. $329,000 just reduced. $329,000. Great buying opportunity. And as you know, I'm a published author, professional speaker. Check out our book on Amazon. Become the MVP in your industry by surfing the radio waves. Having a lot of fun teaching people how to start their own show. It all starts with the book. Buy the book, read the book, and you'll understand more about how you can harness the power of the media, grow your sphere of influence, and become a celebrity in your own right. All right, back here in studio, we've got Jason Brooks. He's a mortgage specialist with E-Mortgage Management in the Del Bro team. We've got Nehad Alhassan, Bitcoin expert, local realtor here as well. Louise Harris, last research and editing. She's a PR expert here in Tampa Bay. So we're going to help you win no matter what you're facing out there. So coming up, we got our feel-good story. We got an anonymous donor buys every toy at Goodwill and gives them to all children. And we also have our Name That Tune coming up. But let's jump back into this. So, we were talking about what Bitcoin is, what it's not, and I think that was a large portion of the momentum. I think it was back in 2008, the mortgage meltdown, the banks are melting down. What's going to happen? The world's going to end. What's going on? We're looking for a savior. He's not there. What's happening, right? So now we look at it, and there's a lot of people, of course, that say, hey, the banking institution. Have you ever sat down with one of these guys? By the way, I've had listing appointments with the people that say, I don't pay taxes. I don't need to pay taxes. I don't believe in a federal... I don't believe in a Federal Reserve. Have you ever heard those people? I mean, there's some people out there that believe that they should not be paying taxes, and there's the Federal Reserve. There's nothing federal about it. But ultimately, I think that's what's driving a lot of this is folks that they don't like the banking system. They don't like the bankers taking that multi-million-dollar golden parachute on their way out as they get fired from whatever bank they're leaving. Lehman Brothers, Goldman Sachs, you name them. They've all been convicted and fined with lots of fines, not much jail time on the other side of that as well. But ultimately, I think that's where Bitcoin is coming in, and it's filling a void of people that say, hey, there's got to be a better way. How can we now the question, I believe, is how can we structure it to where it's not going to hurt people, where it's not going to allow gambling, money laundering, buying illegal drugs, those types of things. So loaded question for you, Nehad. So that's a lot of information there, but ultimately, I think that's what drove a lot of this in the beginning is that exact sentiment in America.
Well, right now at its current cap rate, Bitcoin is around $250 billion. Very small compared to other fiat currencies, compared to $7 to $10 trillion. And the largest trafficker of arms and drugs is the U.S. dollar. Right. So we can make that stake for many years as well. But I think it's very important that people read Satoshi Nakamoto's white paper. And I think you should go to info.bitcoin.com to see this white paper and read it for yourself and see the foundations of what it's built on.
What's the Cliff Notes version say?
Basically allowing a peer-to-peer transaction without a third party, allowing a secure transaction with the anonymous information being held back, only providing the information needed to run that transaction. That's it.
Interesting. Yeah. Very cool.
So it's very interesting. And because there's only 21 million Bitcoins being created, right now currently there's 16.5 Bitcoins on the market, maybe 5,000 in fluctuation right now in trading. I think the price there's a demand. Is not too much supply, and less supply and demand, price is going to go up one way or another.
Yeah, it's interesting. The other thing that kind of caught me off guard is the mining aspect, how you can actually mine Bitcoin. It's interesting.
There is, the mining was a little bit more easier in the early times, and I started around 2012, but now you used to pull out a video card and mine it, but now it's so difficult. You need to buy an ASIC processor and multiple of them, and you have a pool of miners working together trying to mine these Bitcoins, and people have warehouses. And because they consume so much electricity and so much heat, they're doing them in Iceland or in Washington where they're in more colder weather so they can mine this.
They're warming the houses, yeah.
Very a lot of.
And I've also heard another friend of mine was telling me how there's a company or a group that went out into the because it's very costly, the electricity. So there's a group that actually went out into the desert, Nevada, Arizona, wherever it was, and they actually set up a solar RV, solar panels, right. And they started mining it that way. But it's really interesting when you look at it, Jason. Have you ever seen anything like it?
I'm so confused. We're mining Bitcoin. I just don't. So I'll give you a quick story. So I had a vehicle that I had listed for sale, and it was a fairly rare car. And I had a gentleman about 2.5 weeks ago offer me the value of the vehicle that I was asking in Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm.
And I honestly had no idea. I mean, I've seen it. I've played with it. I even invested in it back in, I want to say, late January of this past year, and I was in and out within minutes. But at the end of the day, I had no idea. I'm like, I don't even know what that means. Like, what do I do with it? Then what?
Yeah.
You know, can I just go cash it in and get my, my real money? I don't know.
What can you buy with it? That's a good question.
Exactly. So, and I turned it down. I kind of kicked myself for that because I think it was that. I want to say it was 8,500 at that time.
Yeah.
And last Thursday it went up to I saw it peak out at 18,500. I mean, I could have tripled what I got for that, or doubled what I was asking for the vehicle. But again, it's such a new thing, and there's so much discernment. I don't know what the word I'm looking for, but there's so much
misnomers about it.
Well, again, what is the dollar? You know, at the end of the day, we have what is the dollar backed by, right? The Federal Reserve. We just had that conversation. But what is that backed by? You know, it used to be gold reserve. What is it now?
Our military.
Yeah, exactly. It's because we're the biggest one on the block right now. But that's for now. There's a lot of talk about what the global currency will look like in the near future, and whether it will be the dollar. And what does that mean in our local economy? Like he was sharing before, 1% of Bitcoin is being traded in America. The rest of it is all foreign countries. And again, I'll be honest with you. I'm really not interested in what Southeast Asia is doing right now as far as economically, because I don't want to base my investments on that, because that again they don't live the world that we live in. So.
Yeah, it's interesting. All right, we're coming into our next break. Stay with us here. More from our expert contributors, and we also have our feel-good story of the week. Anonymous donor buys every toy at Goodwill and gives them to all children. I wonder if he used Bitcoin to buy that. And then we also have our Name That Tune as well, popular hair band anthems. So stay with us here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, Tampa Bay and the Gulf Coast region's #1 consumer advocate program. We'll be right back after this short break.
Hey everybody, I'm Forbes Riley, celebrity TV fitness host and creator of The Spin Gym. I'm here today with Brandon Rhymes, and you're listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show. Great ways to get happy, healthy, and wealthy.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. Listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, owner of Platinum MVP Realty, former USF football player. Longtime quarterback on our sports teams, helping our sports teams, win championships. Now we're quarterbacking transactions for our sellers, our buyers, our investors out there. We're helping lead you to a successful closing. We're also quarterbacking introductions to our 80-plus show partners that we have here with the Consumer Quarterback Show. We want to be that turnkey solution. So no matter what you're facing out there, if you need home inspections, home services, we got you covered. If you need finance, we've got you covered, of course. Credit improvement, investment opportunities, lots of ways that we can help you. But you've got to reach out, 813-670-7372. 813-670-7372, and also consumerqb.com. We would love to hear back from you there. And I want to give a shout out to my friends over at Signature Massage and Facial Spa. Are you looking for a place to get a massage or a facial at an affordable price, but without having to sign up for membership? Look no further at Signature Massage and Facial Spa. They offer a 1-hour Swedish massage for $49.95. Always no contracts. Come in early during the early bird hours, receive an additional $10 off. And for those muscles and knots that need extra work, ask about getting a deep tissue or sports massage, and if skincare is what you're looking for, they have amazing facial and microderm packages. Check out Signature Massage and Facial Spa, 11248 West Hillsborough Avenue in Tampa, 813-925-8898, 925-8898. And I also printed this out this morning. They got 3 Swedish 1-hour massage gift certificates, $99.95 online. 3 massages for $99. Come on, get on the line there. Hit them up. All right, back here in studio helping you win, 3610 Casablanca Avenue, St. Pete Beach. This is a great listing that we have from our premium sponsor, Platinum MVP Realty, 3610 Casablanca Avenue, St. Pete Beach. $599,000 just reduced, and it's a duplex right on the beach, just north of the Don Cesar and just south of our official hotel partner, Kipton's, the Hotel Zamora. Okay, back in studio here, we got Jason Brooks in the house. He's a mortgage specialist for eMortgage Management and the Delbro team. We've got Nehad Alhassan, Bitcoin expert, and Louise Harris, last research and editing. So let's shift gears. We're still talking Bitcoin, but I want to answer the questions. A couple of questions I want to answer. What can you buy with Bitcoin? And we also want to find out, there's also this multi-level marketing type strategy that I've seen out there as well. But I want to bring Louise Harris on as well. Last research and editing. So talk about the power of the press release, since it's kind of front and center here.
As I mentioned earlier, he had a hook that the media they didn't see before.
Right.
Buying a house with Bitcoin is a new concept. So obviously that's the reason that he got picked up. And to get picked up, you have to have it in the correct format. You have to have a news idea that they haven't seen before. And this time of year, it's actually easier to get picked up because every other story is about Christmas or holiday shopping. So he came in with something completely different, and they're like, yay, let's go with that.
It's very nice.
So good for you.
That's right.
But you cannot just say, oh, I have this great idea, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm going to send out a press release. It still has to be done correctly.
Right.
You still have to build a relationship, and you still have to expect that it's not going to happen overnight. I mean, you had a good idea, so that's why yours happened. But most of them don't.
Thinking outside the box, creative thinking. Now, let's talk about that. What can you buy with a Bitcoin?
Well, you can do your Christmas shopping on Overstock.
Overstock? Okay.
The Reddit, you can use on Premium Virgin Atlantic. You can go to the moon. There's a Newegg. You can buy computers as well. There's hundreds of computers. Microsoft takes Bitcoin, and more and more. A lot of travel sites take Bitcoin as well, like Cheap Air or Bitcoin Travel as well.
Wow. That's interesting. So a lot of different sites. Now, can you buy groceries with it, something like that?
I think there is.
What about Amazon?
Amazon, no.
No.
At this point, no.
eBay, no.
But this is the good thing about Bitcoin. You can buy any gift card you want with Bitcoin.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
So it opens up and I think Whole Foods does take Bitcoin, to my knowledge.
Okay, so what about, let's shift gears also, talk about the MLM side, so the multi-level marketing. There's some companies I've seen, I think we might even have gotten involved with one where you're basically able to buy in for a smaller amount, much smaller than you would have to buy a whole Bitcoin or however they're denominated. But talk about that. Have you seen those?
I've seen them. I haven't really researched them myself. I haven't worked in them. I would like to research them more. I haven't worked because this field is growing so much and so quickly. Right. I've been doing Bitcoin since 2012, and I'm still learning and I'm growing. And it's just so much just in the technology that's expanding and the updates that they're occurring and changing as well.
Yeah, I think you're going to see a lot of new development quicker now that it's on the Chicago Board of Trade, or you said it's on CME?
The Mercantile.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So you have once you go down that path, now that allows you to leverage. So now you can buy options on futures. So you can start playing the 30 days, 60 days, 90 days out, and actually buy and leverage multiple Bitcoin at lesser amount. Spend a fraction of the money to actually leverage. However, and with any commodity, you also put yourself in a position, depending on what you're doing, to actually have to take possession of what you're buying in the future as well. So
settle in cash.
Yeah, do they settle in cash?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So there's a lot of but again, I think now that it's actually that authenticated or legitimized this to a certain extent by having it on an open exchange, especially one like the CME. So you're now going to see some bigger players getting more involved and actually having that as a form of option to grow wealth. So
and on its first day in the exchange, the market shut down because they couldn't handle the volume.
Right.
No way.
Yeah, wow. Midday.
Yeah.
Wow.
All orders were canceled automatically.
Yeah,
so earlier in the interview, you said something to the effect that only 1% of Bitcoin is being purchased in the United States.
Yeah, basically around 1%.
That strikes me as extremely low.
They've done research, and that's what they say. Majority of Bitcoin purchases were countries where the fiat currency is failed.
Right.
In the government.
Like Greece.
Yes.
Yeah,
Greece. Venezuela, North Korea,
Yeah.
China. They're doing that through the VPN network too. The whole China made Bitcoin. The ICO is basically illegal in that.
Wow.
But the price did drop when China did that. But a few days later, it spiked back up again.
So, Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show. If you just joined us, you're listening to Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate program. So, Tony Robbins, one of my mentors, best in the business, business strategist, he wrote a book, Money Master the Game. And a while back, he was talking about how there was still, at the time of the published book, there was 11 or so first world countries that had negative interest rates. We're talking Sweden, Switzerland. So that's another aspect of this. People are saying, you know what, to the banks, they're saying, hey, I'm not going to continue to pay you money to allow me to put my money in your institution to be able to write checks or pay bills. So I think that's a large part of this too, Jason. You're our mortgage expert. Let's talk about that.
Well, yeah, I mean, we already know we're on the other end of that spectrum at this point. I mean, the Fed's going to raise rates another quarter this week. That's virtually guaranteed. I think the talk now is, what is the projection for 2018? How many? Does it fit in line with what they originally were expecting to do? Are they going to do 4? Are they going to look at 6 different? Rate hikes is going to be 3. That's going to really drive the bond. That drives the Treasury, which also inversely drives the stock market. Right. So at the end of the day, typically what you typically see: stocks going up, bonds going down, yield going up, rates going up. So the bond yield drives fixed rate mortgages.
Right.
The Fed does not drive fixed rate with the Fed. The Fed funds rate has nothing to do with fixed rate loans. However, what it does do, as they raise that, it curbs long-term inflation. Long-term inflation is bad for bonds. So as the long-term inflation gets curbed, in some cases when the Feds raise rates, and depending on what else is going on, it actually improves mortgage rates. Sometimes temporarily, but again, at the end of the day, there's so many things tied to that. And again, I think really what they're looking for is what is going to happen next year. Are they going to continue to withdraw the repurchase of the interest that they're gaining on the bond buying that they did years ago through quantitative easing? They're no longer purchasing bonds, but they're still reinvesting the interest they were making on it. So that could be artificially suppressing rates. But we've seen the market build in this quarter point over the last couple of weeks. So we don't expect to see rates do anything crazy. But at the end of the day, you never know. And there's a lot of other factors that kind of play into that.
Yeah, a lot of things happening in general. When you look at the economy, the economy's good. The stock market's on a bull. We're still on that bull run. It's been doing this, climbing for so long now. A lot of experts think, and I agree that at some point it's going to have to reset. Now, will it be a bull, a complete recession? Will it be just a short term? There's
correction,
a lot of questions.
Yeah, correction is 10%, bear market's 20%, right? Yep. So at the end of the day, I think everybody would agree that we're overdue for a correction,
right?
But again, it still has to happen, and it hasn't started yet. So.
Yeah, I think one of the leading indicators is going to be commercial real estate, as we talked about previously on this show. A lot of the online retailers, they're kind of reinventing the space as far as walking into a shopping mall. Who knows? Maybe these shopping malls that we have here, International, West Shore Mall, maybe they're not there in 10 years, 20 years. Who knows with this changing landscape?
The malls are dying right now. And the shopping centers. I mean, you can drive down the road and see how many empty storefronts there are.
Yep.
And that's all because of online shopping.
Yeah, online shopping is killing it, and that's a trend, and so that's going to equate over into, it's going to equate over into the commercial real estate space, which then, who knows how that's going to affect residential. I think residential is still going to be strong. People have to live somewhere. They have to have a roof. They have to be able to, either pay rent or live somewhere.
Right,
ultimately.
and they're spending more time at home.
Right.
Than they have
Netflix, the jailbroke cards you buy nowadays. People are you're not going to the movies. You're not going to the movies either, right? Think about it. People aren't going to the movies as much. You get it all at home now. You get it mostly all at home. A few days afterwards. Yeah, right.
Do you see commercial buildings being converted into residential since we have no space?
Interesting thought.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of more of a legal problem when you start getting into that, because then you have zoning issues depending on what it was used for. But I think you start seeing big retailers consolidate together. I think you're going to start seeing some conglomeration between
corporate buyouts,
large retailers that actually merge into the same space and offer their products within that same space to have, you know what I mean? I don't necessarily know that the retail will ever just disappear, because people still want to go and get what they want right now.
Yeah.
And I don't know that that will ever change. However, it will slow down. And a lot of people, I mean, I was at the mall last night at 7:30. I wish I wasn't, but I was. And I couldn't find a spot. I mean, you can't even get in there.
I went last week and it was busy.
And but at the end of the day, people are there more so. They're shopping, but a lot of them are looking at what they want to buy and then go and find it online.
That's it.
I mean, that's what I do.
That's right.
What would stop Amazon to open up their own mall?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And
without a doubt.
Instant purchase, and they would still use it as a warehouse.
And also, again, there's your conglomeration between the larger retailers and different, electronic service, different companies like that, to be able to have space within their locations. But they're going to have to cut their prices.
That's right. All right, stay with us here, Consumer Quarterback Show. When we come back, we're going to have a little fun with you. We got our Name That Tune and their popular hair band anthems coming up here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, and our Feel Good Story of the Week and our Tell Me Something Good. Anonymous donor buys every toy at Goodwill and gives them to all children. So stay with us here. More from our expert contributors, Jason Brooks in the house, Nehad Alhassan, and Louise Harris. Stay with us. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Hey, this is Grant Cardone, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show, hosted by my friend Brandon Rhymes. Do not touch that dial. I'll come right through the radio and grab your throat.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
Enjoy tranquil seclusion in an eco-lover's paradise. Paddling through the mangroves where the only sounds you'll hear are the sounds of nature. Because you deserve to relax on vacation, visit Pasco County, Florida.
You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
Welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes, owner of Platinum MVP Realty. Check out PlatinumMVPRealty.com if you're buying foreclosure properties, if you want to search MLS, if you want to reach out to a good real estate team, great real estate team, we would love to talk to you. PlatinumMVPRealty.net or .com. And ConsumerQB.com is our real estate quarterback show, consumer quarterback show, all-star lineup. You've got all of our expert contributors there at ConsumerQB.com. You can find links to all their website information, contact information as well. And we're going to help you win no matter what you're facing out there. We're giving a shout out, Brio Tuscan Grill, International Plaza in Tampa. This is our official restaurant partner. Brio Tuscan Grill, located off of Bay Street, next to the Renaissance Tampa Hotel, International Plaza. And you can also enjoy a wonderful meal at Brio Tuscan Grill, International Plaza. You will discover an Italian menu, signature drinks, and a cozy atmosphere, bringing the pleasures of a Tuscan country villa to Tampa. So we invite you to check them out, make a reservation. The wait staff is awesome over there as well, and we love having a good time over there at Brio Tuscan Grill. By the way, we're going to be live at Brio on Thursday, January 18th, I believe it is. January 18th, yes, the 18th. We're going to have a live broadcast show. Come check us out Thursday the 18th. We're also going to have our gratitude party. So if you want to come and meet some of our expert contributors, some of our friends of the program, save that date on your calendar and come out and hang out with us. All right, you guys ready to have some fun? In studio today, we got Jason Brooks, we got Nehad Alhassan, and Louise Harris here. So we're going to do our Name That Tune. We're going to have some fun with Name That Tune.
Ladies and gentlemen, name that tune.
All right, so popular songs are these are songs that have popular hair band anthems. All right, so the big hair, I guess we're thinking 80s there, late 70s, maybe early 90s. And we're going to get number one going right here. Anyone?
Welcome to the jungle.
Welcome to the jungle. You got it, Nahad. Welcome to the jungle. All right, here we go. Song number 2.
Jump.
Panama. Yeah. Hey, it's fun doing these because I never knew what the words were. Some songs you just like, yeah, that sounds pretty cool. I like the energy. I like the the melody or whatnot. I never knew it said Panama there. Van Halen, 1984. All right, this one's from 1975. Here we go.
You keep on shouting, you keep on shouting.
I want to rock and roll.
You got it.
I wanna rock and roll all night.
Who sings it?
Black Sabbath.
Guess again, unless there's a typo.
Oh.
Kiss.
Oh.
Kiss, they say.
Yeah, that's
Kiss. All right, here we go. Number 2, or fourth song here from 1984. Classic. This is classic. I love this back in the day. They put this in some of the songs or the movies too. This one's been in some movies. You got it, Louise. Twisted Sister there, 1984. All right, last song. You got it. Cherry Pie, Warrant, 1990. All right, having some fun with our Name That Tune. And back here in the studio, let's go ahead and jump into, every week we're going to tell you something positive. We're going to talk positive. A lot of times the negative mainstream media is going to talk negative. We're going to bring you something positive.
Tell me something good.
All right. Anonymous donor buys every toy at Goodwill and gives them to all children. And for nearly a decade, an anonymous donor has bought every toy in the Fort Collins, Colorado Goodwill so that any child who walks in the store leaves with something. All kids today, all day long, you get one free toy, free stuffed animal, free kids book. Says Todd Wakefield, Goodwill's senior director of retail, said on the intercom, the anonymous donor said he does not need recognition for his act of kindness, but he said that this day has become an important part of his family's Christmas tradition. As kids crowded around plastic bins overflowing with toys, he and his wife quietly took the scene before slipping out the front door unnoticed. We've got to some amazing people throughout our community, Wakefield told the Colorado, and this is what our business is run on. People willing to give and help the community. Feel good story of the week. Good stuff.
So he's awesome. Actually helping two charities because he's helping Goodwill by buying them at Goodwill, and then he's helping the Children's Hospital.
Yeah, I guess, I don't think it's all children's. I think
it's just the children come to
That's what I thought, though. I thought it was all Children's Hospital. Okay. He's just saying all the children that come in get a toy, I guess. But yeah, that's pretty cool. So, feel good story of the week. And let's jump into our lightning round.
The lightning round!
I am so good at lightning rounds!
I majored in lightning round.
Alrighty, top tips, nuggets of advice, parting words of wisdom. Jason Brooks.
Parting words of wisdom. So we would love to talk to you if you're looking at purchasing a property within the next 6 months and you are self-employed and you have not had a mortgage professional review your income documentation before you start looking at houses. You are probably shooting yourself in the foot. I'd love to sit down and actually plan ahead of time. We are able to, in most cases now, use only 1 year, the most recent year's filed tax return. So that allows us to kind of ignore 2016 once 17 is filed. So if you're planning on purchasing or refinancing your home and you have not had anybody look at it, please call me, Jason Brooks, Mortgage Management. I'd love to talk to you.
Awesome. Yeah, so streamlining the process, able to get in early, get that credit pull done too. A lot of times credit theft, you're seeing it out there, identity theft rather, is out there. So don't have that last minute, oh, wow, what happened? I thought my credit was 700, now it's in the 500s. All right, Nehad, top tips, nuggets of advice.
I think we have to remember in history in the 90s that when the internet came, people didn't trust it, didn't want to do it, and didn't want to send emails. And you don't have to understand the internet to send an email.
Right.
Same thing with Bitcoin. To be able to send money and receive it, you don't have to understand it. You just know you're able to send from one person to the other without a third party.
That's right. That's right. Louise Harris, last research and editing.
I'd like to mention that this book, The 1776 Musket, just was released.
Nice.
And this is my other book, 1776 In. They're both great Christmas gifts. But I'm really looking for people to buy this third one.
Where can they find it?
On Amazon.
Amazon.com?
They're both available on Amazon. And the print version from this or this you can get from me.
Nice. Okay. Awesome. Check out the books online. And continue to support our show. We really appreciate it. It's been a great year. Looking into 2018, we're real excited. We're expecting a wonderful year, a great year, a lot of cool things happening in that space. And I want to thank all of our expert contributors as well for making the Quarterback Show so successful this year. Jason Brooks, mortgage specialist, Mortgage Management, the Del Bro team. Thanks for coming in. Nehad, thanks for coming in. I appreciate it. Bitcoin expert, also local realtor. Pretty cool what you did with that press release. That was awesome. And Louise Harris, last research and editing, helping us out on our show as well here. And we've got a great lineup for you tomorrow's show. We're going to talk with Brad Blanton, Suncoast Roofing, Fred Muth. The Tin Man is in the house as well in tomorrow's show, and we're going to have some fun with you there as well. So stay with us, Consumer Quarterback Show. We're going to help you win no matter what you're facing. Check out our book on Amazon and become the MVP in your industry by surfing the radio waves. Check out Louise's books on Amazon as well. Give me those titles again.
1776 In and 1776 Musket.
1776. Where did I come with 19? All right. So the random act of kindness was cool today. I mean, that was really cool. The guy goes in there and buys Goodwill toys and gives them away to children without even saying who he is. He remains anonymous. So we want you to please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. Something as simple as packing up leftover food you may have, clothing, toys, carrying it with you to and from your commute, handing it to that person you see in need, donating it to your church. And we'll see you next time here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback. Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Contact Brandon Rhymes at 813-670-7372. That's 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for the Consumer Quarterback Show, weekday afternoons at 5 on AM 1380. The Biz.